Fly ball, deep left field. We are tied up. A Brady bomb makes it 4-4.
This is interesting to see your daily sports podcast about news, narratives, takes, and gambling. I did not know that the announcers for the Houston Astros refer to Lance Bregman home runs as Brady bombs. That's got to stop. Yikes, that's not that cool. I did a home run because home runs are sweet. That was in the bottom of the ninth. The Astros tied the Mariners at 4-4. Baseball is still happening. Turns out I totally forgot. Baseball in September is really stupid. They should just take a sabbatical because everyone's so focused on football. There's just no way in hell people could also pay attention to baseball except for days when there's not football. And for the foreseeable future, that's going to be Tuesdays. Because you got Monday Night Football. Last night, or 2 nights ago, Labor Day, Ole Miss played, and then the National Football League returns with a doubleheader next week, and then there's Maction and Thursday Night Football, and there will always be 1 or 2 random college games on Friday nights. Usually BYU forces us to watch them on Fridays. And then there's Saturday and Sunday and Monday. So literally from Sunday, you got Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Tuesday's the only day. So that's the day to watch baseball. If I were the NHL or National Basketball Association, I would just shove games in your face on Tuesdays, which, by the way, how stupid is it that they're going to start back with their normal schedule? It was so great that it started in January, and I could just focus on football, and I loved July so much. I am not going to watch as much as I can just to protest, except for my favorite teams. I'm going to protest. You're going to make me watch golf and tennis in July again. Why would you do that? All right, interesting to see today. We're going to take a deeper look into some gambling stuff. Tomorrow's going to be the big gambling preview. I just want to talk about something called the Action Network for all of you that don't subscribe or use that for just lines. And if you're a noob gambler, it's a pretty good resource for you to have there. Oh, I got to put my reading glasses on for some of this. We're going to talk about Zach Martin, which is kind of a funny thing. We're going to make fun of Indiana because they can't spell their own name. Catch up on some college football things that happened as we get back from the weekend. We're going to start with the Oakland Raiders, who they had this third-round draft pick last year. They're such a mess. So I'm going to I'll bring it up. Screw it. I'll bring it up. Here it comes. Here's tweet number 1. It's too zoomed in. My bad. Don't care. Quote from Tom Pelissero at NFL, a surprise, the Raiders are waiving linebacker Tanner Muse. Muse was a third-round pick of Clemson in 2020. Missed the entire rookie season because of a toe injury, but took starter reps throughout camp and was a core special teamer. I do not know why they caught him. I hope it wasn't for something off the field so I don't get canceled after this particular thing. But then earlier, so this is how it works. If you have something called TweetDeck or Hootsuite or one of these tools that allows you to look at Twitter as a professional, you can schedule tweets. That tweet from Tom Pelissero comes out on September 6th at 10:46 a.m. An hour and 14 minutes later, a scheduled tweet from the Oakland Raiders, damn it. Las Vegas Raiders comes out wishing a happy birthday to Tanner Muse, who is no longer on the team. This is why we don't schedule tweets, folks. We don't schedule tweets. Don't schedule tweets. So they wished him a happy birthday an hour and 15 minutes because people forget that there's not like an Excel spreadsheet of tweets you have scheduled. If you scheduled it, it's going out. It's not an easy way to look at what's available. It's pretty weird. Like there's no option. All right, we got to talk about Philadelphia media because Philadelphia media is having themselves a great day. Story number 1, Terrell Owens says he would love to box Donovan McNabb in a celebrity boxing match. Ha ha ha, yeah, this is just for jokes, right? Totally. So Terrell Owens was talking about celebrity boxing matches he'd appear in. He said, I would love to fight Eagles quarterback Donovan McNabb. And he says, I'm dead serious. I'll knock McNabb out. Yeah, dude, we know. Story number 2 from Philly, and this is the better one. This dude, his name, if my computer will unfreeze, I'll tell you who it is. This writer, Marcus Hayes, for the Philadelphia Inquirer. I'm going to link to this in the notes. I can't describe to you how cool this column is. Let's read the headline of the column. I root against Tom Brady and his Buccaneers and Bryson DeChambeau. Those are not related. And this needs to stop by Marcus Hayes. So let's scroll all the way to the bottom. And let's read his thesis statement so we can talk about what's going on with this particular piece. We'll call it a piece. So we're scrolling and we're scrolling and we're scrolling. So many ads from Philly. All right, fine. Marcus Hayes writes, it has to stop. It's completely inappropriate for me to root against Tom Brady, Bryson DeChambeau, or anybody about whose performance and character I am compelled to write. There is hope. I've come back from this before. Blah, 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 blah. So he talks about why he's a journalist and he can't hate these guys. That is, I'm going to ballpark 13 embedded tweets and 2,000 words after he just shits on them. Like, and I mean, so here, there's just a list of how much he hates Tom Brady and why Tom Brady is so hateful, and he just destroys Tom Brady. What about Deflategate? And he says, actually, he's just as bad off the field. And here he is not shaking Nick Foles' hand after the Bears beat him. And he's even worse off the field. Brady's worth more than $250 million. He just signed all this stuff. He spit in the face of the players' union regarding COVID. I mean, it is just an obliteration of him. And then he's done with Tom. But then he remembers, you know who else is a douchebag? Bryson DeChambeau, who doesn't yell for and who isn't fun, and now he's mad at fans. But I can't get mad at these guys because I'm a pro. It is immaculate sports writing. I love it. This is the antithesis of the sorry, not sorry. It's like, I hate you, but I don't hate you. Incredibly good work. Incredibly good work. All right, we're going to bring up a video real quick here. Because we're going to give it down on opposition. Twitter, shush. All right, here we go. Let's all listen then. This is a cool story.
This morning, there are new signs the Taliban is cracking down on opposition in Afghanistan. Taliban militants fired weapons into the air to break up a demonstration in the capital. The people were protesting the Taliban's reported capture of the country's last uncontrolled province. Charlie D'Agata is in Doha, Qatar, where top officials are holding talks on Afghanistan. Charlie, good morning.
Why was that so important? What was so interesting about that? That was Nate Burleson from the Detroit Lions and formerly of Good Morning Football, and the guy who he was the color analyst on the Nickelodeon game with all the slime and all that stuff, and he was great with kids, and he's awesome at Good Morning Football. He left Good Morning Football 2 weeks ago so he could start on CBS This Morning. CBS This Morning is the hard-hitting version, like the actual news version of Today and Good Morning America. It's on CBS. From a news standpoint, it is by far the best morning show. That's Nate Burleson anchoring coverage on Afghanistan. He is incredibly talented. Good for him. And as far as like if we're comping Nate Burleson and Michael Strahan as they go from sports to sports media to actual media, man, he murdered that. Those are some tough names. Like Charlie D'Agata is a tough name. Doha, Qatar, and he just crushed it. First pitch in the pros for Nate Burleson was a home run. Shouts to Nate. He's going to be a huge, huge deal. When he comes back into sports, he's going to be one of those guys that's going to be on the Peyton Manning level of announcing. Actually, Peyton should aspire to be at Nate's level. What a great job from Nate Burleson. All right. I'm going to see if there's any other headlines I want to get to. Oh, yeah, TJ Watt is holding out from the Steelers. So here's the deal with the Steelers and TJ Watt thing. They're offering him a ton of money, but not a lot of it is guaranteed beyond this year. Like, this is the way the Steelers play football. TJ Watt's like, well, this is how I play football. So there is a high chance TJ Watt will not be playing for at least week one. It looks like it's going to be a while. Like, I think this is a Le'Veon Bell level holdout. Actually, it's not a holdout. It's a hold in. So he's at practice. And he's like, oh, my hamstring or whatever. It's like, he's refusing to participate. And he can do that. If he shows up at the facility, he hasn't broken the law, which it is breaking the law if you don't honor your labor contract. That's labor. That's law. So he shows up, which is all he technically has to do. And now he's like, I'm not going to play. And shouts to him. Whatever. Like, my opinion about pro athletes is this is professional sports. You are a grown-ass man. Get your money. If you think you're worth it, hold out. If the market doesn't think you're worth it, they'll make fun of you. But TJ Watt is a top 10 player at a premium position. He's a top 3 player at his position, specifically over the last 2 or 3 years, and was second place voting for Defensive Player of the Year. If he tells the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is what I want, pay him his money. Because right now, there are 10 teams that are like, bro, we'll give you 2 first-round picks and pay him that money. It won't be a problem. Promise. So they should probably get on that right now. All right, let's just make sure I had some other stuff. I haven't been doing a great job of clearing all the stories. There's just been so much football to talk about. We talked about the Indiana thing, right? How they misspelled their name. Yeah, so Indiana had a great year when COVID was happening, when there was a plague, and now they expect us to think they're good. Well, Iowa absolutely destroyed them. So a lot of the players' jerseys, I think 4 or 5 of them, had Indiana misspelled, Indinia, Indinia. I'm not joking. Here, I'll pull it up if you're watching on YouTube. There it is. Look at it. Indinia. Great. Great look from Indiana. That's pretty sweet. Look at there's Notre Dame. All right, let's get into some gambling stuff. So some interesting news happened yesterday in the NFL. Latavius Murray, he gets cut by the Saints because he wanted extra money. The Saints consider themselves cap wizards, but that's not what happens. Basically, they're like a millennial who subscribes to too much stuff, and they're like, why can't I make rent? I'm like, well, stop subscribing to stuff. So they had to cut him. That means Alvin Kamara is going to get a much higher workload from a carries standpoint. They used to hand it off to Murray to give Kamara a breather. So from a fantasy look, people are kind of freaking out about this. It's either incredibly positive for Kamara, or it's negative in that he won't be available on either passing downs or running downs. Like, nobody really quite knows what to make of that right now. Okay, so I want to talk about this thing called actionnetwork.com. Actionnetwork.com is just a really great resource for beginning gamblers. They have sportsbook reviews. They don't review the Barstool Sportsbook app because Dan Big Cat Katz, the host of Pardon My Take and essentially the superstar of Barstool Sports, and Darren Ravel hate each other, and Darren Ravel's at Action Network. So I don't think they're going to review. But they have all of the different lines at all of the different books, so you can see where the market is. So, for example, I'm looking at the Action Network, and here it is. And you can see, look, the top line is Cowboys versus Bucks, and right here we have it on FanDuel at -8, +8, and there's -8, +8, and they've got the one that has the best odds. PointsBet has the highest payout for the Cowboys. And you scroll down and see different lines. Like, all the books are on the same page for the majority of lines. Checking these right after a game is played on Sunday or Monday, they can move, and they'll tell you where different action is depending on where sharps are, but with so much time to prepare for game one, they're all going to be here. The Action Network also has where you can track where things are legal. Like, Arizona is legal now. Mississippi is on the way, but it's not like online. Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee, etc. So I endorse the Action Network. You can subscribe to all their stuff. They have different tools so that you can calculate your stuff. But I think it's like $20 or $30 a month. I don't know that it's quite worth it for gambling for me. So this is what we're looking at with Zach Martin and the Dallas Cowboys, and we'll get out of here on this. Zach Martin developed COVID symptoms, and he didn't have to test because he's vaccinated, and then he developed symptoms. And then he has to take a test. Like, what's going on with you, man? And, well, he developed symptoms, right? So he's got a test. Turns out he did have COVID. And then after the way the protocols work, I don't know exactly, but it's something along the lines of when you're asymptomatic, you don't even have to be asymptomatic. As soon as you stop testing positive over 24 hours, so take one test on like Tuesday at 9 a.m., if that's negative, and then the test on Wednesday at 9 a.m. is negative, then you don't have COVID, even if you still have COVID. You're not shedding virus. You're not viral or whatever. So people are still holding out hope that Zach Martin could play on Thursday. I don't think that's the case. I think 100% he would be available on Sunday, but he's not available on Sunday. And it's a real big bummer because Zach Martin is the only interior offensive lineman left on the Cowboys who one would consider elite. Connor McGovern, who was also a domer at one point, and Penn State, I think, because he never got on the field at Notre Dame because of Quentin Nelson and Alex Bars. He's in the middle there replacing Zach Martin, but Zach Martin was going to go against Ndamukong Suh and Vita Vea, and you're thinking like Cowboys offense versus Bucks defense is going to be good. Bucks offense versus Cowboys defense is not going to be good, but who knows? I mean, at this point, the line is 8. I think that is an enormous line for a first game back, and these guys are not the Patriots. They haven't been doing the Patriots way stuff. I kind of think they've been partying pretty hard. I don't know what to make of this game. This is a stay away for me. We'll get really into it tomorrow. We'll go through different projections and parlays and different stuff with the NFL kickoff game on Thursday afternoon. And also, we're going to do some daily fantasy. Daily fantasy is fun. You put up like $5, maybe you win like 100. It's just single game fantasy. Which players are going to have a great game? We'll do all of that. And of course, college football it's back in earnest. Big games this weekend. The Big Ten, I love it. Instead of starting with big games, a lot of the Big Ten teams are starting with conference games, which I appreciate at a very high level. Oregon, Ohio State, that's going to be a good one. Really excited about that one. The Cy-Hawk Trophy. Man, the rankings are not inflated, but both Iowa and Iowa State in the top 10. ESPN's going there. Just dumb luck, I guess, how that works out. Somebody voted for Notre Dame in the top 5 after their performance against Florida State. The rankings matter a lot, folks. They matter a lot. It's interesting to see. Subscribe, rate, review. Force everyone in your life to listen and watch. I appreciate it. I'll be back and better than ever. NFL starts tomorrow.